Hey everyone, this is Miss 1776 here, and you're here with the Deja Vu stream.
Greetings, my friend. We are all interested in the future, for that is where you and I are going to spend the rest of our lives. And remember, my friend, future events such as these will affect you in the future.
Always so exciting, that intro.
I was going to say that one never gets old. So today we're going to be reviewing Soylent Green, and then we're going to also review a Twilight Zone episode. It's from one of the newer series. I believe it's like the one with what's that guy's name? It's like Forrest or something. Is basically the narrator.
Yeah, 2003, I believe, they did a syndicated version of The Twilight Zone with Forrest Whitaker as the host, and he did the introductions and outros of all the different segments.
Yeah, so we'll be doing the Evergreen episode from that series. So let's go ahead and start into Soylent Green. So do you want to read your summary that you have?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let me get to that. Soylent Green is a 1973 American ecological dystopian thriller film directed by Richard Fleischer and starring Charlton Heston, Lee Taylor Young, and Edward G. Robinson in his final role. The movie is loosely based on the 1966 science fiction novel Make Room by Harry Harryhausen, with a plot that combines elements of science fiction and police procedural. The story follows a murder investigation in a dystopian future of dying oceans and a year round humidity caused by the greenhouse effect, with the resulting pollution, depleted resources, poverty, and overpopulation. Now, in Act One, the story is set in the year 2022, the future, where the world is overpopulated, polluted, and suffering from a shortage of resources. The movie follows NYPD Detective Robert Thorne, who is investigating the murder of William R. Simonson, a member of the board of Soylent Industries, a company that produces food made from plankton. Thorne suspects that Simonson's death was not a burglary, but an assassination. In Act Two, Thorne's investigation leads him to a priest whom Simonson had visited shortly before his death. The priest can only hint at the contents of the confession due to the sanctity of the confessional. Soon after, the priest is murdered by Fielding. Is that right? Simonson's former bodyguard. Yes. Thorne continues his investigation despite orders from his superiors to end it. He discovers a disturbing secret about the ingredients used to manufacture Soylent Green. In Act 3, Thorne uncovers the truth about Soylent Green, which is more disturbing than he could have ever imagined. The movie ends with Thorne shouting, "Soylent Green is people," as he is taken away by the police. While the book refers to Soylent steaks made from soy and lentil, it makes no reference to Soylent Green, the processed food rations depicted in the film. Make Room is a 1966 science fiction novel written by Harry Harrison, excuse me, not Harryhausen. The story is set in an overpopulated New York in 1999, where the global population is 7 billion people plagued with overcrowding. By the way, we got 8 billion now. Resources, shortages, and crumbling infrastructure. So the novel explores the consequences of both unchecked population growth on society and the hoarding of resources by a wealthy minority. The plot jumps from character to character, recounting the lives of people in various walks of life in New York City, the population over 35 million. The novel was originally serialized in Impulse magazine.
Hey, thank you for that. I just want to say, hey, WZ, how you doing? And hope you're having a good one too. Um, So now that you guys kind of got a little bit of the background on the movie, so I guess then we can do a little bit of a deeper dive. So I actually found some interesting article today, and it'll go back to this. So basically, obviously, this was a lot about pollution. There was a lot of showing like the world getting polluted, as well as like you said, overpopulation, and hoarding the few resources, which kind of almost harkens back a little bit to 1984, where we saw this upper class have they still had these like goods, they still had fresh fruit and vegetables and meat and everything. They lived a life of luxury, whereas the vast majority are basically um, living in like just absolute poverty. So going back to the climate thing, I thought was interesting was actually there was an article by the not the Bee today, and it was discussing how an article came out or a study came out that showed that the world's 1%, like so the 1%ers actually their carbon footprint is just as much as two-thirds of third world countries. So if you could try to wrap your mind around that, 1%, with the 1%ers have a giant carbon footprint, and yet we're the ones being told, oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. To enjoy your paper straws. So hold on, let me pull up Rosales.
These are just some of the
So I said
pictures
that's a much
from
more movie.
Soylent
Yeah, it
Green.
was a good.
Yeah, kind of cut out there for a second. You still here? Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Sorry about that. My internet is like having issues again. Um, I mean, yeah, the ending's pretty. I mean, I know that Soylent Green is people, so I don't know if I could say that I would have guessed that or known that. I mean, I guess yeah. Um, well, no, obviously the carbon footprint and parallels of that when we've seen like the damage done. I think, or we've seen the damage done when we pollute our earth. There's another thing I was listening to today, and it was talking about farms and these giant farms, not like the little mom and pop farms who actually cared about the soil and put nutrients back into the soil, but like these huge farms that they don't care about making sure the soil has a nutrient. So that's why our food is, especially in America, that's why our food is so like just bad, because
I think we lost you where you said because, if you can hear us. Your microphone or internet is having
hold on a
a few
second.
issues.
There we go. I'm there to make sure. So I'm not sure what was.
Yeah, I think Miss 1776 is having audio issues or possibly
Okay.
internet issues. She's cutting in and out, and we've just got a little bit of dead air happening. Um, but yeah, uh, Edward G. Robinson. This was his last role doing the character that he played in the movie Soylent Green. So after a long illustrious career, he wound up passing away. So in 1973, that was his last film. WZ says it might be your microphone. Said you were cutting out, but he also loves Soylent Green, so it's good to hear that.
Okay.
So
I swear this thing. Okay, so is it connected now, or is it still? Can you guys hear me?
we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. So, where did I leave off at?
I think you said because was the last thing we heard.
Or because did, did anybody hear about the soil and how it's being depleted? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, part of it.
Okay, so anyway, so basically the soil, um, this, going back to like, comparing it to what's going on today. So we talked about the climate and the carbon footprints being laid down by the one percenters, and then while they're telling us to only have our little paper straws, and so now we're going to move on to the factory farms, or the whatever you want to call it, the big farms, where they're not putting nutrients back in the soil, so our food is not absorbing nutrients. And they're basically working the soil and using that soil until it basically they can't use it anymore. So it's just I don't know if you guys have ever had like if you ever had something where it's really fresh and it's like from someone's garden, like some kind of vegetable or fruit from someone's garden who actually loves their garden and takes care of it, you'll notice a huge difference between that and what we get in the grocery store. So that's why you're supposed to compost and fertilizer and really take care of the soil. If you don't, not only does your food taste like crap, but it's also you're getting less nutrients. And if your body doesn't have certain nutrients, it can throw your hormones out of whack. It can cause a lot of obesity. A lot. I think there's diabetes. There's like a lot of stuff. It's just shocking how much can go wrong from not having the proper nutrition from this stuff. So basically that paralleled with overpopulation. Obviously, what did you say, right, like 8 billion or something? Never really been a big fan of the whole fear of overpopulation. I think sometimes we need to spread out. And what
It's been a before all of the other hysteria. The first hysteria that I remember was the population bomb, which is kind of what these stories are reflecting, and they're kind of pushing that type of agenda that if we don't curb the growth of the human population, then the world is doomed to fail. And this book in 76 or 66 rather was pushing the idea that if we reach 7 billion people, which was what 1 billion people ago, that the world would fall apart and there would be absolute chaos. One of the things that got right was the fact that a small percentage of people would have everything, where the larger population would have little to nothing. So that extreme is there. However, um, we're not living off of people, but it does kind of make you wonder why people are trying to push the idea of bugs as an alternate source of protein.
Yeah, exactly. And again, the cancer meat, the fake meat, or the lab grown, uh, and I call it cancer meat because it essentially is. It's like grown from cancer cells, where they're trying to get that lab grown meat. And I mean, here's the thing, guys. This is not okay. There, I just don't believe that there's a thing as overpopulation. Now, you can have overcrowding in certain areas, like where we all just crowd into the city. So yeah, if we're all moving into the city and pushing into this one area, yeah, it's gonna get overcrowded. It's gonna feel like that. But if we all kind of spread out, you know, um, if we start building houses in certain areas, I mean, gosh, California is a desert. Most of this should actually be in desert. So if we actually started developing certain parts of California, we could have more land. There's a lot of land, and that's not just California. There are plenty of countries where there's plenty of land left. So it's just us spreading out, and then it really is something like Rosales is saying. It's like the 1% trying to hold people back. And you guys know I'm a capitalist, so my problem here with the 1%ers is it's not that they have wealth, because I'm a big fan of, hey, look, you create something interesting and innovative and useful, heck yeah, you should get paid for it and we should pay it for it. But what I don't like is this let's create laws that hurt all the other people and create this tiered society. That's where our problem is where we're creating laws to create a tier of, okay, so the celebrities can go and run amok on the carbon thing, but the rest of us are stuck with paper straws. Think about that, guys. That is really something. I know I'm harping on the paper straw thing, but that is such an annoyance. It's annoying and it's stupid.
We don't have
Um,
those in Texas.
well, speaking from California here, bugs aren't even thermodynamically more efficient than like chicken. Yeah, exactly. We're not eating the bugs here. We are not doing it. So yeah, I mean, and actually third world countries, that's where they usually eat bugs. And it's more like because it's like sometimes the only way that some places they can get protein. I'm not saying all, I know some places use it as a delicacy, but like, yeah, there are places where that's a protein. So why are they trying to force us to eat something that is considered almost a last resort in a lot of areas? I will say this is probably one of my favorite movies that we've reviewed so far. Uh, it was really well done. It was actually really. I didn't realize I was gonna like it that much as I did. I would say like the part with Soul and Thorn at the end, that was pretty heartbreaking. So go see it if you haven't seen it. Rosales, you want to add anything to this movie or topic?
Mm, um, no, not really. I think you've covered it pretty well.
Do you think Newsom's gonna bang down my door and drag me off in the middle of the stream?
Oh, by the
Um,
way, if you're watching this on Twitch from the Rosales Comics view, we're doing this live stream from YouTube from the Miss 1776 channel. So be sure to go over to YouTube, look up Miss 1776, and click on there and like and subscribe, like it says right down here in the lower corner. We do this almost every Tuesday, where we review science fiction movies and TV shows and things of that nature, so that we can see how it reflects on today, yesterday, and possibly tomorrow. I don't know why, but I got my evening radio voice on.
I know we missed you last week. I know that the guys were like probably irritated at my summary because I just rambled on and on and on with it. So I told them like I know you guys Gonzalez, but you guys are stuck with me this week.
Yeah,
Uh,
things come up, and you can't do everything every time all at once, and sometimes you've got to take a little bit of a break. But
exactly. So everybody there, when he's here, you guys better appreciate him when he's here, man, because when he's not, like I said, you guys are stuck with me in whatever summary I'm a guy for together. Um, so there was so we went over the movie. There's one other thing I wanted to bring up. I guess I should have started with the theme. Sorry, guys. If anybody knows how much I'm in California. California sucks, and our traffic sucks. As we're talking about, because here I am saying there's no overpopulation. There's not. It's just overcrowding in certain areas. But anyways, I'll get off that topic. So, do you want to move into the next show
well,
that we
you know
did?
what? I think if instead of going to Austin, Texas, the Californians went to Wyoming, where they're a little more spread out, and they could find someplace with the internet on it, they would be extremely happy.
No, I wouldn't do that to them though.
Lots of room out there, and friendly people to take advantage of, and
I would.
quite a
I
few
could.
Chinese ranchers.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like California just need to utilize the space that they have. Go move it to the desert.
Ah, you know what? They would tax you for they. I'm surprised they haven't figured out a way to tax the homeless.
Well, they have. They just double tax the rest of us with homes.
Well, see, that's not exactly the same thing. That's but the idea of giving people money from the government to live off of is like taking money from you and then bribing you with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they tax you and then they give it back to you and say, "Here, it's this, so you can live your life."
Yeah, they get back to you right before an election. That way they make it sound like, hey, look, I'm a good guy. Look what I'm giving you free money.
Hmm. Like I remember this one scene, one thing I saw. Uh, it was during Obama's second election. Had a lady on, and she said she was on TV and just so excited because she got a new cell phone, and she said, "I'm going to vote for Obama. He gave me a cell phone," and that sounds like bribery to me. It just you're giving people cell phones, and so that and then they decide to vote for you. I think you're bribing them to vote for you, and I thought that sort of thing was illegal. But there it was right on the news.
Well, what would they say? Rules for thee, but not for me.
Hmm.
Yeah. Which again, that pretty much I felt like this one. Oh yeah. So I mean, I guess the whole eating people thing. I mean, part of the one of the things that they were saying, or Thorne was screaming at the end, was that they were going that they could be using them for cattle, and that is something to think about. Like, are they using? Are they using? Are they going to start using now the people to feed the people? To it's just like saying, like using the people to feed the people. I don't know. That was
No, I don't think that they will because there's a kind of disease that you can get from eating human flesh, and it affects all the cannibals that we've ever visited. They call it down in South America, the indigenous peoples that haven't had contact. They call it eating long pork because human flesh tastes like pork. It's a little tougher, um, the meat is. But there's a disease that affects them, and in the way that they they can it affects the brain in a certain kind of way. So it's just not good. It's not a good thing to do. It's like a almost poisonous thing to do is to eat human flesh, you know, and maybe Dahmer didn't eat enough of it, for it to happen to him. But
yeah, that was a really horrifying ending. And then it kind of left it open to think they believed him or not. That was
mhm.
the other thing. Oh, and here's another pretty back that Rosales has press.
Oh,
Connected.
good. You got to the Discord. Good. Um, they in the movie they wound up making these little wafer crackers that you could just they dished out in little baggies, for people, and people were getting water in buckets in the street from dispensaries. Um, and but it did remind me a lot of what we see in San Francisco of all the people in the streets just kind of living on top of each other, and in the squalor and things like that. So that's a whole lot of what can happen with the overpopulation and the overcrowding. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say overpopulation. But yeah, I mean, other than the inaccuracies, it was pretty accurate.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And really it was pretty accurate for 2022 too. That's what's really terrifying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
these
I mean,
people.
the thing is that if you think that there's going to be an overpopulation problem because of the number of people, uh, yeah, stop putting labels on stuff. Take that little warning sign off the top of the ladder. Um, you know, because they used to take care of themselves, and you know, let the hurdle thin itself, as I used to like to say. Um, the best will always make it, and you know,
Yeah, well maybe Canada's what Canada's doing with its euthanasia program. Canada and
well,
Europe.
you don't need that if you take away the warning labels. It'll take care of itself. Uh, it's what they call the Darwin Awards. So people doing things that they shouldn't ought to do, and we stop them from doing that, and they keep living. And not only that, they start um, they start
Procreating.
procreating, hey, maybe we should do idiocracy. That's a great example of what's actually happening. You know, um, somebody put up a picture of a videotape, not a videotape. Well, I guess it was on videotape at the time, but it was kids in the 2000s in school. Nobody had cell phones. Nobody was on the internet. They were all just kind of hanging out and talking and happy and everything else. And they said, what a simpler time it was, and we were much better off back then. And I asked him, I said, well, aren't those the parents of the idiots that are running the show now? So, uh, those guys were the children of the baby boomers, and the baby boomers were the children of the greatest generation, and the greatest generation didn't want our kids to go through all this rough and mean stuff. Um, if you were back before the Industrial Revolution, not everybody had to go to college. Not everybody finished grade school, but everybody was working by the age of 6. But even if you did go to school, you worked before you went to school. Hell, you worked before you ate breakfast. You got up before the crack of dawn, and you stay busy the whole time. And nowadays, people don't have to do that. And so they got all these idle, there's all this idle time, and there's just nothing to be nothing is being done right now. Nothing's being made, nothing's being accomplished anymore. But everybody's got a high score, you know or a social ranking, or retweets or relikes. It's all a distraction to keep you focused on the fact that or not focused not on the fact that everything is now becoming a subscription, and you're not going to own anything anymore. So, but
Yeah.
that's a soapbox rant. So,
That's okay. We like those on this channel. Now I was gonna say the other thing is, like you said, people are, they're too busy on TikTok and doing stupid videos and being influencers, and to actually, I don't know, like you said, go out, create something. Not create a stupid challenge where you guys eat Tide Pods, dude. Guys, no Tide Pods. Remember that? That was like a big thing, eating the Tide Pods, and it was jumping on the egg crates.
that could have saved the next generation if we hadn't put a stop to it.
Oh man, that's pretty dark.
I mean, if you
I
know
mean, it's
better,
not
it's
wrong
not going to
though.
affect you. If you know better, it's not going to. If you have something called common sense, it wouldn't affect you at all. You know, and if it doesn't, then hopefully the odds are in your favor.
Yeah, these people who are like going back and they're saying, like, acting like Osama bin Laden was this great guy, and I'm just like, where is your mom and dad? Why are they not like? I don't even know if I can say this. Like, why are they not going old school on you for that?
No, if you
You
read the
know,
letter, if you actually read I don't know what they're reading, but it's not the letter from Osama bin Laden. I can tell you that. Because he basically outlines the fact that anybody other than a Muslim is an infidel, and anybody who's an infidel needs to be put to death or converted. You know, and that anybody who that Israel was the creation of Israel was a mistake, and that anybody who aided in that made the mistake and needs to be eliminated, and that the
that's your
United
hero,
States
guys.
aided that mistake. So he's basically calling for the elimination of everybody except the Muslims, which you think it in his mind, I guess, or in the minds of people that believe that, if it was only Muslims, then it would be a completely peaceful world under one religion, and everybody would be happy, except for the fact that the Middle East is fighting with itself all the time in different factions of that particular religion. So you have wars to the death, trying to
Yeah,
convert people to different sects of that particular religion. So even it doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I think it's what is it, the Shiite versus the Sunni? I mean, those are the two main sects, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
By the
sure.
way, guys, that would
But
be like if the Protestants and the Catholics just had a bloodbath, like in modern times, bloodbath. Like, that's what basically is going on, just FYI.
or
Um,
like Ireland.
we should have saved this part for Idiocracy. I didn't even think about that. Like, we could have went like those kids who are praising that terrorist. We could have like did that for Idiocracy. Put a linchpin in this conversation, guys. We'll bring it back up next week. So
Anybody out there in the comment section got any thoughts on Soylent Green other than you dig it? Anybody catch something that we missed? Let us know in the comments below.
yep.
And
And then
there's
I guess
dead
we gotta
air
let
as
us
we
know.
wait to hear the comments. Speaking of which, how was
Well,
traffic?
until someone pipes up and oh, I hated it. It was awful because there's idiots driving, which we'll go over in Idiocracy. But idiots driving, they get in accidents and they cause everybody else to have to get delayed. And then people want to look at the accident. And then on top of it, you have people who are like going, oh, you know what? Instead of having like, the whatever space you're supposed to have between cars, you're supposed to be able to see the tire in front of you. Like they do
Mhm.
like twice that. And it's just like, and then they slam their brakes when someone gets over. And it was just miserable.
Well, somebody, you know what? That's if you can see the rear tire, there is room for a car between you, and that's your safety, like you were saying. However, idiots will see that and go, "Man, there's a spot I can take it," and they jump right into that spot. And so the person who was overly cautious to begin with then slams on their brakes so as not to hit the person that got into their safe spot. But we got something new here in Texas. I don't know if it's going over there where you guys are at, but here over the last year and a half, we've had a epidemic of red light runners. Now, I'm not talking about in the middle of the red light. There's somebody who runs it, but as soon as the light turns red, hey, Michael, as soon as the light turns red, the last four cars after it turns red will still continue to go through. So it's like this, like waiting on a train, you know? And it's happening at like almost every single major intersection in the DFW area. Nobody
Hey, Cole.
cares anymore about the yellow light or the red light, you know? So it's just you're losing time, and then people get agitated because they have to sit there at a green light waiting for people training through the red lights.
Mm-hmm. Okay, they're just talking to each other.
What's up,
Yeah.
Cole? You losing?
No, but we do have. Okay, this is terrible. We have like a bunch of those. You know those like where they take the picture of you. What are those photo enforced?
Yes, yes.
And I don't want to get in trouble on here, but there was like a section of area that was just like all of the photo enforced, and it because it kept going off for so long because people kept running their red lights, they had to take all the cameras down.
Well, they already they decided that in the Supreme Court that it's illegal.
Oh,
So
interesting.
yeah,
Hey, wait, why do they still have it then? Oh, California doesn't listen to laws anyway. So.
no. Yeah, it's
So
amazing that California doesn't have a Second Amendment.
oh, that's depressing. That one's depressing. I don't know. I don't know where that's so. You know what? That belongs in Soylent Green. No, I don't know. I don't know if it
But
falls
you're
under idiocracy because we live like that, or if it falls more under the Soylent Green because I'm depressed of the way that they just. Anyways, um. So
there
anyways,
was
so
a
that's all.
so yeah, this was based off of a story by Harry Harrison, and it was syndicated in a magazine before it was published as a book. So they kind of did it in installments, and it's more of like a slice of life. Look how terrible things are going to be. One of his stories, short stories I had read once, was about traffic in L.A. I don't know what particular one it was, but it was one of your major highways out there. And this guy was stuck in traffic and could not get off of the freeway, and he was desperately trying to get off the freeway because he'd been stuck in the same spot for an hour. And everybody knows in this story that you're not supposed to be there longer than an hour because then they're going to clear the traffic. And what they did was when the traffic got so bad nobody could pass through, they just paved over everybody. And that's what happened to the guy. They came in with the flying concrete pourers, and they poured concrete over everybody in the road so that the next day the traffic would be clear. That's just an idea, Gavin. I wanted to give that to you.
Yeah, thanks. If I get caught in this event, I'm blaming you with my dying breath.
Don't blame me. Blame Harry Harrison. So his idea. He's dead.
I was like, what did they say? 1984. It wasn't like a manual. Like that. That's the same with Soylent Green. It wasn't a manual, guys. Cole. I swear, Cole, we're gonna get it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on over to the Twilight Zone episode, Evergreen. Do you have the short summary?
Yes, I do. Let's see. This is the Twilight Zone that they tried to bring back in the early 2000s. It was in syndication. This episode was first broadcast on September 18th, 2002 on UPN. Man, that's a callback, UPN. The plot of the episode revolves around Jenna Winslow, a rebellious teenager whose parents move her to a special community to help curb her rebellious teenage ways. Little do they know that Jenna will be changed in ways they never dreamed possible. In Act 1, the story follows Jenna Winslow. I better read that part. Whose parents move her to a special community to help curb her rebellious ways. The community is called Evergreen, and it is a gated neighborhood whose inhabitants place conformity and well-to-do behavior above all else. As time goes by, Jenna learns to dress and act like all the other kids in the neighborhood. However, her curiosity still persists, and she befriends a young man who is like her, questions the stringent rules of the community has set forth for them, and indulges in vices such as cigarettes and liquor. One night she sees him being put into a van and taken away by the neighborhood patrols. As time goes by, she soon discovers that the children who go against the teachings of the neighborhood are taken to a factory where they are turned into fertilizer and do indeed become evergreen. Eventually, the neighborhood council deems Jenna to be a threat to the neighborhood, and she is taken to the plant to become Evergreen herself. The Winslows have regained control of the family, but it costs them one teenage daughter, a deal that could only be made in the Twilight Zone. So, Boyd's, I'm sorry, go ahead, please.
No, go
ahead. It says here, what I have written down, it's both Soylent Green and Evergreen, an episode of the Twilight Zone, are dystopian works of science fiction that explore themes of overpopulation, resource scarcity, and environmental degradation. In both stories, the world is bleak and a desolate place where humans struggle to survive in harsh environments. They both offer bleak visions of the future, but they also offer a glimmer of hope that humanity can change its ways to create a better world. Yeah. Although Evergreen doesn't really show the dystopian portions of it. Everything that it's trying to protect their people from are on the outside of the gates, and they focus on everything on the inside of the gates. So you see a pretty serene and docile place. But like in the Stepford Wives, it does give you a false sense of security, because that security is what you are in danger of becoming oppressed by. So there's that.
Yeah. I mean, I would say definitely Evergreen leaned, to me, it was more like bad parenting, I would say. Like, just, okay, so the whole, when you're watching it and they're complaining, the daughter, they're going to complain about the daughter because she has tattoos and piercings, and she's basically ran amok when she was out, when they were on the outside of the world and going to whatever, would she go into, like a Catholic school or something like that? to me, I was just sitting there going, "Why don't you control your daughter?" So they're blaming her for their own terrible parenting, their own actions. Okay, when you see her top. Okay, well, how did you get that top? Who paid for that top? Who allowed you to buy that top? Who allowed you to buy that music? And pay for those CDs. So you see her having a ton of CDs when she walks in. And so I think what was
Sorry about that.
it's all good. I think what was kind of interesting about that one was really just highlighting like their bad parenting, and then their resolution was to just offer, go ahead and let her get mulched. She kind of didn't do anything actually to deserve getting mulched in that one. So that was even more interesting. It was just she got mulched because she figured out what they were doing to the kids and they wanted to escape, So that was dark. The parents didn't seem too devastated, which is even creepier considering that we had seen earlier most of the parents are devastated they have to mulch their child. I think what was kind of interesting about this Twilight Zone is I'm not really a big fan of the newer series, but this one stuck out to me because I felt like it was a good, like, Rod Serling type twist and moral to it. So that was just my 2 cents on that one.
I guess the moral of the story is don't be bad parents. Is that what the moral of the story was? Or,
Oh, I guess if you're worried about overpopulation, you can mulch your children. You're
you know,
bad.
well, I mean, they did say that, uh, they, all the children are good for the community. So, and
I mean that.
Cole
Go
says,
ahead.
reminds me of this short film I watched where people go against society are turned into trees. I didn't realize A24 made short films.
Yeah, but I would say, I mean, dude, that was a dark episode. That was a dark episode. But yeah, I would say that. I mean, seeing the dynamic between the sisters turning on each other, that was pretty dark, and encouraging the turning on each other. That was pretty crazy. Just to go back, it was like the children are, they're teens, they're unruly teens, and rather than being a parent and doing the hard things, it almost sounds like they let their child get to the point where they've run amok. They have no control over their child because they're doing nothing to be control over their child, and instead they resort to this really evil community. This really evil. I think he's like the head of the HOA and kind of in charge kind of dude. I mean, really just turning your kids over to that, knowing that I think they had said, like, if they're like basically if you left the community, then you lost everything you owed, basically the HOA, everything. So, yeah, WZ, I love the background. Rosales did a wonderful job on it. Um, can we do this everything? Oh gosh, what did you say, Cole? Can we do this Evergreen thing with all of the kids who are fans of Ice Spice and Dojo Cat? Well, I'm not going to stop you, Cole. But anyway, I mean, it really just to me lends to, okay, it's really on you. If your kids turn out bad, okay, yeah, at some point when they're adults, yes, you like Dr. Phil says, you have to rise above your raising. But while they're still young and in your you know parental control, it is really on you to parent and guide your child. And we do see her cussing and at her parents, I think, at one point, and this crazy hair and all this other stuff. Just so yeah, that was kind of that one. And obviously, just so you guys know, because I know we're getting close to wrapping up here, but the theme tonight was supposed to be Thanksgiving, and that's why it was food theme and family theme. Not, so you're welcome from trying to work on a theme, guys. Um, so let's see. I've seen the idea of multi. Let's see how you guys doing in the live chat. Click. Okay. So, sorry guys, I'm also battling a cold on top of everything. What is Michael say? I don't know, Cole. I like Dojo Cat song that talks about the Roomba vacuum. Okay, guys, I'm old. Who is Dojo Cat or Doja Cat? What is that? Should I be scared to ask? I kind of know Ice Spice is, but I'm a little afraid to ask who the Dojo Cat is. Let's see. Oh gosh. And then thinking about it. Okay, yeah, that's some weird stuff. So I think we'll go, and then once Rosales gets back, we'll probably say our goodbyes. Next week, I think I'm gonna do Idiocracy. So if you guys have any suggestions you want us to do, let us know. What does it say? 76. What is your typical Thanksgiving? It's pretty traditional. With turkey. Well, I guess we do also do roast sometimes. We do turkey, we do roast. I have a huge family. It's like a really, really, really big family. So usually it's a lot of everything, a lot of chaos, a lot of running around. You should know Dozy. It's an shut up, Michael. Okay. So I was everybody. What? So you guys make fun of everything being like undercooked?
I can tell you how to cook a turkey in about an hour and a half.
Oh, my dad does the turkey, so I don't mess with his recipe. That's
I mean,
like the one for.
a full-fledged turkey, I'm talking about like one of those big ones, 16-pound type of things, cooked in about an hour and a half and perfectly cooked, tender and juicy, completely cooked all the way through. But you got to do something that sounds absolutely disgusting. You have to spatchcock the turkey. I'll go ahead and let you look that up.
I don't want to know. Is it scary looking? Is it gross?
If you don't like touching raw meat, yeah, it's pretty gross. You got to cut the spine out of the turkey. And once you cut the spine out of the turkey, you have to open it up and crush the chest down to make it into a flat piece of meat and fold the arms back. And then you can dry brine it. And what happens is that once it's dry brined for like 24 hours and it's laid flat, um, it cooks a lot faster. It slows down the cooking of the legs. I mean, yeah, and increases the cooking time of the chicken breast. So everything. Big Brell, what's up? What's up, Michael? And it does all that to even out the cooking time so that you can cook it at a higher temperature for about 30 minutes, and then the regular temperature for an hour, and then you just let it sit for an hour in the oven. So with it off, and the whole thing just comes out perfect and juicy. The breast is, the skin is brown and crispy. It's just delicious in half the time.
So, Results. Hey, yay! Wait a minute. Why don't you go over to Results' house for Thanksgiving dinner, you guys? Because you guys only like to mock me. They're talking about a thing called Dojo Cat or Doja Cat. Have you heard of that?
Doja Cat?
Yeah.
I've never heard her music.
Okay, so it's a person. Okay, I had no idea what they're talking about. They keep forgetting that I'm old. I don't get half their references. You need to speak a little slower for me. So there we go. Okay. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a short night, guys. Sorry again. I know I was late and just, yeah, it's one of those days. So, okay. So before we go though, Results. What are you doing next? What's up? What's going on your channel? And it looks like, okay, so you're on. Where all are you on now? You're on Twitch, Rumble, and YouTube.
Yes, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, and Twitter sometimes. I like to hang out there. This next week we're taking off because it's going to be the Great American Holiday this week. So great Americans will be holidaying. So we're not going to be having a show on Sunday. However, we will be back December 3rd. And we will be talking about Dave Filoni getting promoted at Lucasfilms. We'll be talking about the Karate Kid multiverse. We'll be taking a quick look at Godzilla -1, which should be out right at about that time. Jonathan Majors will have had his court date by then, so we'll have a good update for that. Jimmy Olsen and Lex Luthor got cast as men, and Silver Surfer, not so much. So we'll be having a look at that. Also, I will be celebrating a birthday if we make it there. Plus, we'll be playing Make It Memes, so it'll be all kinds of fun and good times on December 3rd when we come back with the Super Sunday wrap up.
right, sounds fun. And then for this channel, you guys are such dorks. Michael, don't tell my secrets. Anyways, so for this channel, what we're going to do is Friday, we're going to try to start a new show with. Oh, hold on. Real quick, let me get to that. 76. What does Jada think about the Silver Surfer probably being female in the MCU?
You can't hear him yelling right now?
I was gonna say, I think he just told that he did a rant video. So I don't know if it's gonna be about that or if he's gonna be jaded about that. That'll be interesting. I'm almost afraid to ask it, but I will find out for you guys. We'll probably have some smart thing to say about it. So, but anyway, so Friday we're gonna be me or Cole and I will be starting a new stream where we will be reviewing cartoons, and even though this technically isn't, I guess, a cartoon, we're gonna start out with reviewing 3 animatronic movies. So it'll be Friday Nights at Freddy's, Willy's Wonderland, and I think there was like a Banana Split one. I hope so because I'm right there with him. I love this Silver Surfer.
Those are not cartoons.
I know, that's why I said it's not going to be, but me and Cole decided it's going to count as a cartoon just because I don't know. I have no other idea how to encompass it, so it is what it is.
Those are horror movies. Matter of fact, they're the same horror movie, all 3 of them.
They could be a horror. Why do you think I picked them? So that way I have to watch the movie once.
You only have to watch one of them. Watch the one with Nicolas Cage. That's the better one.
I'll have to check that one out.
Oh my goodness. I used to watch the Banana Splits when I got home from school, if that tells you how old I am.
Oh, yeah, that actually does, because that's like my dad's age then.
Yes, it is.
I will not announce his age, though.
WZ
says, birds of a feather flock together. Well, Rosales, you're young. He's old, though. So that's how I look at it. You're still young. He's not.
Oh, yeah?
You know, actually, I say that to Data, too, because he's kind of around my mom's age. So
oh, yeah, we were probably sitting down in front of the same TV set, eating the same bowl of cereal, watching the Banana Splits.
And yet he's nowhere near as cool as Rosales, so what does that say?
Well, he gave all his cool to you. What can I say?
Or his dorky side sometimes, I swear. Anyways, WZ says, birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. You got me there. We're all a bunch of dorks here. Yeah, so Friday will be that, and then we're going to take a break from the conspiracy on Saturday because I think I have to help my dad figure out how to do his on the computer, some work thing on the computer for him. So, you know, he's not tech. See, that's what I'm saying. You're the cool one, Rosales. You're all technologically savvy, and he has issues figuring out how to
not
turn the
anymore.
computer on.
Nowadays, I am lost as sin. I used to know everything. I used to build my own computers and stuff back in the day. But it's kind of like those old guys who work on cars, you know. It's like we didn't used to need a manual to do this stuff. We all just knew what to do, you know. So
what did you say? Where have you been, 76? Oh, wait. You mean where have I been? Oh, on I'm a little confused. What did I sorry, WZ, what do you mean? Like, where have I been? Like, have I been asked on the shows?
All his life.
Oh. I don't know. I mean, how could he say that to me? Half the time he hates me, half the time he tolerates me. Even though I love WZ so much, he's so mean to me. I always love sending him that meme that you're supposed to be the chosen one whenever he burns me. So yes, Sunday I think we're gonna have the lady stream, and then we'll have I think we're gonna do our rescheduled Biotrans award stream. So stay to that. Oh, I have not seen you on Discord. Oh, it's because I have a meme that I want to put in there, and I can't use the Pepe meme because you guys haven't really said anything for me to be able to use it. So I've been watching you guys, and I've been waiting when I can actually stick the Pepe meme in there. But because no one said anything weird. Once you guys say something weird, then I could stick it in. But you guys gotta say something weird on there. So far, you guys have been all like nice to each other, and yeah. But yeah, you're right. I should pop in there at least. But I'm telling you, I have a meme in the chamber. I'm ready to like launch here. It's just tough love. Yeah, we gotta do another game stream. Those are kind of just random sporadically. Usually they're after conspiracy stream. I would say it usually depends if everybody wants to hang out a little bit later, or sometimes they're on Sunday, but I'll try to stay on in there. Oh, we did, Michael. Darn, I missed it. I'll go find it, and I'll add that meme. Okay, I have to go find it because yeah, it's a Pepe meme, and I love it. It's so cute and adorable, and fitting too for half the time when I go into that stream. So
You
yeah,
ever
so that.
you ever been to one of those hunting outlet stores where they have like a big outdoor equipment and it's like a big giant superstore and they've got all kinds of stuff and you can actually fish in those places? You ever been that? You ever done that?
No, I haven't.
No, no. They have like this stock tank on the inside of there. It's like oh goodness, I can't even think of the name of the place right now because I'm so old. But you rent the fishing pole and they've got all these bass in there and you just kind of stick your pole in there and the fish bite and then you pull it out and then you pay for the fish by weight, and it doesn't take all that long because all the fish are hungry and they're all together in one spot, and um, when somebody says that they roasted MSK. It's kind of like being one of them one guy, kind of like visiting one of those things and calling yourself a fisherman, because it's just too easy to roast MSK.
Yeah. Speaking of, I'm really late for a show. I gotta go, guys. Sorry again. I'm sorry. Late night. Shoot.
Bass Pro Shop, yes, good deal.
No, just
Thank
start
you,
getting
Michael.
better on scheduling, guys. Again, sorry, guys. I'll get better with working at a schedule. Like I said,
Oh,
crazy with
you're
traffic
gonna
and
go
working.
Marvels?
Yeah. So, everybody take care. Rosales, you want to say anything in closing?
Well, just about the Marvels. There are private screenings still available. All you have to do is go to the theater.
I love that. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. Take care. Love you guys, and truly thankful for you guys coming over here and watching
Yes.
us. And, especially,
Enjoy the rest of your American holiday.
yeah, and you guys are awesome. Take care, guys.
Bye.